Hello everyone! Have you seen SQL Data Catalog? With SQL Data Catalog, you can categorize all of your columns in your tables and keep track of things like the owner of the data, where it originated, but most importantly, whether or not those columns contain sensitive data. And if they do, you probably want to mask that data when you make copies of the database for developers and QA, for example. Wouldn't it be cool, after doing all the work of classifying your data, that you could just automatically create a masking set so that you kind of save some work there? Well, you can, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So let's switch over to the demo. I'm connected to SQL Data Catalog, and I've got two instances hooked up to it. I'm going to click one instance here, and you'll see a lot of red donuts. It means I haven't touched those. I haven't classified those databases yet. But if I scroll down, and I'm going to zoom in, you can see that this DM database has been classified. So I've looked at every column, and I've used some tricks to do this. Obviously, this is a sample database. It's not really large, not a lot of columns and tables, but there are some really cool tricks you can do to take care of lots of tables and columns all at once. And take a look at the Redgate University class for more information on how to do this. So you can see that I've classified several of the columns as being confidential. So let's take a look at how that looks. And for every column, I've especially given it a classification scope. So for example, this integer, not going to be sensitive, not going to care about that. But if I scroll down, I can see some things like, for example, this customer email. And notice that I'm going to zoom in here, it's been marked for static data masking. And what I want to do is use a substitution rule. And that's kind of the beauty of this. Well, many columns, you probably just want to substitute a fake email or a fake name or a fake address. And that's going to be a lot of the work. And that's what we're going to be able to automate. There's some things you're still going to have to go in and manually configure in SQL Data Masker. So how do we do this? Well, if we go over to the documentation of SQL Data Catalog, you'll see this automation section. And there are some PowerShell scripts. So there's 3 scripts here that I'm going to use in this demo. One of them is add masking taxonomy, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. Generate masking set from catalog, and that is really what I'm trying to accomplish here. I'm trying to generate a masking set. And data masker helpers. So what that is a function that you can use in the PowerShell script to make sure that the PowerShell script talks to both data catalog and data masker inside the same script. So for this one, all you have to do is copy it out and put it in the location. So we're going to have one folder where we're kind of working with everything. So I'm going to jump over to PowerShell, and let's see, I'm going to open up that data masker helper. So notice that I've got everything in this one location, eDemo. So here's that data masker helpers. I don't really need to open it. I'm not going to run it, just see that I do have it in place. So the first thing we've got to do is add masking taxonomy. So why do we need to do that? So we're to get the scripts to work with data catalog. We're adding this special category and special tags. And let's take a look at how this looks in catalog. So I'm going to switch over to the taxonomy tab. And you'll see there's all these categories, and you get almost everything I've got here. You probably came, right out of the box. You can add others. You can add other tags. There's quite a bit you can do here. So what I need to do is add a special category and then tag all of the columns that I need to work with. So let's go back to PowerShell and take a closer look at the script. So the first thing you've got to do is add values for these two variables. The one is an authorization token, and you get that by going to Catalog, going to Settings, and Authorization Token, and you can generate a new authorization token here. Once you do, just copy it, paste it right in your script. The other one is the server URL, and this means the data catalog, where the data catalog lives. That's what that means. So I'm going to go ahead and run this script, and if all goes well, then looks like it did, no errors. I'll go back to the taxonomy, and there is the masking data set category and all these different tags. So that's what I want. That's kind of the key that gets the script working against the catalog. But I also have to go back to my columns and tag them. So let's go back to the catalog and go back to my database. And there's a lot of filters here. Really, this is a pretty smart thing to do. It's lots of ways that you can filter that. And that's also helpful when you are doing the classification initially. So what I'm going to do is just filter by static masking. So all of the columns that I need to mask are going to show up. So let me grab, like for example, this customer email. I can go in here and scroll down and say that it is an email address. And scroll down a little bit more and apply changes. So here's a customer first name, and I can scroll down and say that this is a forename and apply changes. So I'm not going to have you watch me run through all this, and I will just kind of zip through that and then show you the rest of the demo. Now that I've got that done, I'm going to switch back over to the PowerShell script and just show you the things that you've got to update in this script. Again, you have to add in the authorization token and the server URL, just like you did before. If you scroll down, fill out the name of the server where the target database is located, along with the database name. And then also, you're going to need to create a masking set, kind of a shell of a masking set. So we're going to add the name of that there, and also the name of the one you want to generate. Before I run the script, I'm going to open up Data Masker and click Create a New Masking Set. I am going to choose the server, which is local, and the database is DM database, and the schema is DBO, and click Connect. And once I do that, now I have a masking set that just has three rules. The controller is basically the connection string, plus there's a rule for disabling triggers and then enabling them at the end. So all I have to do is save it, and save it in that same location, and give it the same name that I had in the script. That's very important. Close that up. Okay, I think I am ready to run the script. I'm going to cross my fingers here and make sure it all worked. Everything looks like it worked. It ran pretty quickly. I'll go to that folder, and here's that new generated masking set that I just created. I'll double click it and wait for a couple seconds, and there it is. And I'm going to zoom in here. You can see there's several substitution rules that it created, and you can see the tables that are involved. So what it did is created one rule for each table. So I'm going to take a look at this one. And zoom in, and you can see that it matched up the different columns with the correct data sets. So the data sets are basically just lists that I've just made up, email addresses, made up names, whatever. So that's how you do it. Now you could use this masking set along with SQL Clone to create clones that are masked, or you can apply it to a live database as well. I hope this was helpful. Thank you, and talk to you soon.